Hi, I'm Garen the Watchmaker, and this is my new old watchmaking workbench. So in my previous video, I did a workshop tour, set up my new shop, and showed you guys the process. And I got a lot of support for that video, so thanks very much. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But one of the things I saw in the comments popping up was people wanted to see more of this antique workbench. So I heard the call and I'm here to answer. This bench is signed J.H. Rosenberg Manufacturing Company. It's probably from the early 1900s. I couldn't tell you an exact date, but it's very old and it's definitely seen a lot throughout its years. So I initially received this workbench from the estate of a watchmaker who had passed, watchmaker slash jeweler who had passed. And when I received it, it had about 3 layers of paint, and it was kind of like a baby puke green, similar to this color, just painted all over the surface except for the wooden bench, which was stained and scarred by, if you can believe it, more stains and scars than are on it now. So my dad and I spent a lot of time stripping off the old paint, sanding it down. We replaced these side walls here, and I added this little lip right here to prevent parts from rolling off this way. We stained everything and put new handles on, replaced the catch tray. And so I'm gonna slowly go through each of the drawers of this workbench and the cabinet down here on the bottom, show you guys what I've got in there right now, and try to give you guys an idea of why I have things laid out the way I do. And hopefully that gives you guys some insight into you know, the watchmaker's brain. So here we go. So I'll start with the top of the workbench here. As you can see, there's some cigarette stains and some scratches and different stains. This is an old bench. The previous watchmaker smoked a lot and would just, I guess, leave his cigarettes sitting on the corner, the edge of the bench, and let them burn down. So, you know, what are you gonna do about it? We sanded it down as much as we could, and I think that's just some character that remains in the bench from the previous owner. So on top of the bench, I have, as always, my beautiful green Bergeon 7808, the big size. I like the green because it's nice on the eyes and you can see just fine. The white is too bright, the black is too dark, the green is just right. I've got a nice dust cover here that I just leave on top of the bench because it doesn't fit anywhere else. And I've got this wonderful screwdriver set that spins in a very satisfactory manner. I could just sit and watch that just spin and spin and spin all day. I have my ARBE Manufacturing Company bench lamp. Love this thing. I talked about it in the last video, but this thing for 250 bucks, this is the best lamp that you can buy for the money. So let's move on to the primary drawer. This is where I keep most of the tools that I use throughout the day. So I have this blue tray that you see here. You can find that from Casker. I love it so much. You could 3D print your own, and then you could really like dial it into the tools that you are using specifically. But I think for general purposes, this is more than enough. So I've got my primary tweezers, and then a watchmaker's pick, and this fantastic little box cutter. And these 5 tools, other than my tweezers, are probably like the most useful, commonly used tools. I have these nylon tipped tweezers for handling softer materials so I don't scratch anything. There's the Bergeon part number if anyone wants them. So I like the black Oilers because they're a good size. The red I find too small. I don't know why, I just prefer the black. But then I also have, this is a oil pusher. So the tip that's hidden in this guy is very small, and you can use it to push oil through the backs of jewels. But then also the round tip is also great for getting it out of a jar and into your oiling cups. Speaking of which, I actually have in this drawer another kind of backup oiling cup, a different version. So I've used these before, but I like these because they're easier to clean, and I just like these a lot. Maybe it's nostalgia because I used those at school, but I used this style at Haltom's for almost 5 years, and they're great too, nothing against them. I just prefer these. You can see some other tools in here. I won't go through the whole thing, but I do have some special tweezers. These are Dumont number 11s, and this pair is really cool because they are signed for Accutron. But what's really nice about these tweezers is that they're made of nickel. What is nice about that is when you're manipulating shellac, nickel doesn't pick it up and string it and pull it and mess up the nice shellac that you have. So these are great. I love these. I also have some titanium. So if you want to scratch anything and everything, you can use these, but really they're very lightweight. So for delicate work, you can get a really good feel out of these. It's just very light pressure needed to manipulate things with these. So they have their uses, but if you want to pick up anything softer than titanium, which is basically everything, these will scratch it. So as you can see, I've got some other stuff in here, you know, pin vices, hammer, hand levers, wheel truing calipers. I've got hand pushes back there, more chucks, a bench anvil, plastic sheets for protecting dials, a case pad, and my hockey puck, which comes in super handy. And then I have a leather buff down here as well. So that's drawer number 1. That's my primary drawer. Most of the tools that I use on a daily basis are right there. Then I've got my lower left drawer. This is for, I keep my cleaning supplies. And this is a CO2 canister right here. So it's compressed air, but I need to get a refill. That's why this is out right now. And then my amazing, beautiful, wonderful stacking parts trays. I love these so much, and I want so many more. I can never get enough, but they're awesome. So you'll notice I have 2 brushes here. One is full size as it comes from the manufacturer, and then one I have cut down to make the bristles a little bit more firm. Is good for like really getting into something that's super dirty. So having both of these, having the options, I like it. And then I just keep them here on top of the watch paper, just in case there's any one dip left on them. When I put them in there, it soaks into the watch paper and not into the wood underneath. Okay, and then this drawer over here, I have a glass plate. It's got quite a few different good uses. One is for polishing components, another is for manipulating hairsprings. You can see really well on top of this frosted glass plate. And I got some pliers in here as well. And so that's kind of my main drawers. And then of course the parts catch tray right here with canvas that I replaced when we restored this workbench. In this little cubby, I keep my bench vise that desperately needs to be cleaned and oiled and derusted because it got a lot of rust on it in the move somehow. So that's great. So I either need to fix that or replace it because it is old. It's got a lot of damage, and so I could use a new one, but I just haven't divested the funds just yet. So here I have additional tweezers, just the stuff I don't use all that often. I have additional bronze tweezers. My go-to tweezers are the ASCO P5. I love the P5s because they're bronze, and that means they're more firm than brass, but they're still softer than steel. So it's not as easy to scratch things with bronze as it is with steel, but the shape that you put on your tweezers lasts longer with the more rigid material of bronze over brass. So I love those. I have a few different ones because I like to sharpen the tips differently. Focus, 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 focus. I have these like flat tip for manipulating harder, like tougher springs, moving cams and stuff like that. These come in really handy. So you can change the tips of these bronze tweezers and they become very versatile. And then I also have another pair of Dumont 11s here and some various steel tweezers. Got a Cannon pinion puller, spring bar tool. This is for removing the triangle shaped shock springs. Got another interesting bench anvil, and like I showed you guys earlier, I got this guy. So this is kind of like my secondary hand tools. So I've got my additional tweezers and then basically anything else I might need, but not as frequently as what's in this main drawer. And then we go down to the next drawer below, and this is primarily cleaning. So I've got pegwood, rub off, and then different varieties of pithwood. I've also got my Edicron tools here, a poising table for poising balance wheels, and this is a drill to drill into harder guillemot metal that balance wheels are made out of. So those are my top 5 drawers. That's my most commonly used tools. So these 2 drawers are slightly larger, so I have room to fit these plastic boxes in, and so I typically use them to hold. I've got movement holders here, and then finger cots. I took the lid off of this one so I could fit a dust blower in here, and then I'll put like a 10 power loop in here most of the time. I had my 10 power loop at school with me, so it's not here right now, but that's what's usually in this little cubby. And then these are empty, yet to be filled. So I've got the space for something else in here. I just haven't filled it quite yet. And then this is more of my like traditional watchmaking stuff. So if I'm working on pocket watches, this is the type of stuff that I'll need. I've got shellac here. I've got another wheel truing gauge. And then these tools are for, we've got screw undercutters for poising balance wheels. And then these are for casing and pushing out jewel settings, removing the case tube on pendant set watches. And then this is a project of mine that I'm working on. I'm waiting on some parts for it. That's big-ish drawer number 2. And then for the really big drawer, I store my cleaning solutions, Epilom, lubricants, and then extra oilers in here. So this is a pretty infrequently used drawer, but I've got some good stuff in there. I've got 2 different rinses in these jars. I've got one dip and I've got alcohol. One dip is for cleaning. Alcohol I use to melt shellac off of old pallet stones where there's shellac that needs to be replaced. So there's that, and then refills for Epilom and one dipper in the back. And then this last cabinet down here, right now I just keep Windex and paper towels to clean my workstations, but there's room in the back for a lot more. I just haven't had use for it, so I'm saving that space rather than just filling it with stuff I haven't started using yet. But as I start to use more stuff, that will get filled up. All right, so that's my workbench in its current iteration. I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Other than that, just keep watching the YouTube videos, keep following along on Instagram, and yeah, I really appreciate all the support so far, and I look forward to continuing to make the content better and better. So if you have any ideas for my next videos, let me know below. I was thinking I'll probably do a state of the collection here pretty soon where I share my watch collection, because everybody seems to love those videos, and I'd love to share some of the beautiful watches that I'm lucky enough to own in my personal collection as well. So that's probably on its way. Keep an eye out, and for now, thanks for watching and I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.